So for about the past week here on the channel, the theme has been recruiting, and I guess the question is, why stop now? And today, we need to turn our attention to Tuscaloosa, where the Crimson Tide are playing host to several top prospects this weekend, but there's one name in particular we need to focus in on. A name that would be a massive win if Alabama were able to get him in their class. And of course, today, we're talking about the five-star linebacker in the state of Alabama, Demarcus Riddick. Before we can jump into all of this, y'all know the drill. I have got to hear from you. Hop down to the comments, give me a Y for yes or an N for no. Do you believe the Crimson Tide can flip Riddick from Georgia? And let me know what you're thinking. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. Hit that bell notification as I do constant college football content. You don't want to miss any of it. And if you enjoyed the content, be sure to like and comment down below, as those interactions seem small, but they are massive to content creators such as myself, in both getting picked up and maintained by the YouTube algorithm. But having said all that, let's jump right into this. And first and foremost, before we can answer the question I posed to all of you in the intro, which is, do you believe the Crimson Tide can flip Riddick from Georgia? We need to ask and answer the question, who is Demarcus Riddick? Well, Demarcus Riddick is one of the most gifted prospects in the entirety of the class of 2024. Don't believe me? Just turn on the film. You're going to find no shortage of things you love. He comes in as a five-star prospect, ranked as a top 30 player in the nation, specifically coming in at the number 29 prospect in the nation, regardless of position, the number 3 linebacker, and the number 3 player in the state of Alabama. And when we really break down his film, where do you want to begin? This is a guy that has noticeable sideline-to-sideline speed, and his team asks him to do a bit of everything. I saw him on punt return. I saw him on kick return. I saw him spread out as a wideout just to get a little screen pass. I saw him as a defensive back. I saw him lining up off the edge. Everything he did, he excelled at. And one of the first things that I noticed and wrote down when watching his film is that he's able to identify, recognize plays, and then get to the point of attack before the offense, the side of the football that knows what's about to happen. Demarcus Riddick is able to analyze what's going on and beat the offense to the point of attack. There was one play within his film that was a screen pass, and almost instantly, he identified what was happening. He found the running back through the offensive lineman and was able to intercept the pass because he instantly recognized what was going on. That's football IQ you love to see, especially for a linebacker. And he stands 6'2", 210 pounds, and he is not afraid to come up, fill up a hole, and initiate the point of attack. The one thing he has, though, that I think is just awesome is that sideline-to-sideline speed we keep referencing. I've said it before on the channel, I love when I watch linebackers at the high school level asked to cover, because one thing we know in the modern college game, linebackers are going to be forced to cover. So if you can get a guy out of high school that already has an understanding of how to do so, I think it's just conducive to success long term, and that's exactly what he can do. This is the type of guy that if you get him into a college strength and conditioning room, you can add 10, 15, almost 20 pounds on his frame, and I don't think you're going to see any explosiveness lost. That's how much athletic ability he has. He is a freak athlete, and any team would be very lucky to have him. But now we need to get back to the question. Can Alabama flip him from Georgia? And first and foremost, I think the answer is yes. Let me explain why. That's not to say that Georgia isn't a behemoth when it comes to recruiting. It's just recognizing what the Crimson Tide does on a year-in, year-out basis, where Alabama is either the number 1 recruiting class in the nation, the number 2 recruiting class in the nation, and this is a pattern that just seems to repeat. So far be it from me to say Nick Saban can't flip a prospect, but there are a few schools that I will always give the benefit of the doubt. I won't guarantee a flip is going to happen, but I will admit, hey, you can't count them out. This is a staff that has proven time and time again they know how to recruit, and Alabama leads that charge. You can never count out the Crimson Tide, especially whenever Demarcus Riddick is located within their state. And one thing we need to understand, we'd have to go back to 2017 to find a 5-star linebacker that was in the state of Alabama that did not play for the Crimson Tide. And even then, the name we need to know is T.D. Moultrie. He didn't leave the state of Alabama. He went and played college football for Auburn. So this is something we have got to watch. Alabama has been really good at keeping these linebackers home, and certainly Demarcus Riddick is one they would love to keep home because of everything he can offer this defense. And the other point we have to get to is Robert Balla, the new inside linebackers coach. That's a relationship I'm really interested in seeing how it blossoms, and there is no doubt that this weekend will be big for how that relationship will go going forward. Being able to get Demarcus Riddick on campus is always a great thing, and especially where he can get increased familiarity with the coaches that are going to be recruiting him and working with him. Freddie Roach is listed as the primary recruiter per 24/7 Sports, and we know what Freddie Roach does on the trail, where just last year he was lauded as one of the top recruiters in all of college football, and it seems like that's the case year in, year out. So this is a battle we have to watch. One thing the Crimson Tide do not want is to see a 5-star linebacker from their state, a guy that could absolutely come to Tuscaloosa and help Alabama, leave their state and go play for the Georgia Bulldogs. Alabama and Georgia may not be rivals, but there is a little bit of a rivalry going on for who is going to be the king of college football. And right now, Georgia wears the crown. They're coming off of back-to-back national championships, but Nick Saban and Alabama are trying to say something about that, and a great way to start getting a massive win over the Dogs on the trail. We'd also need to remember, though, Alabama got several wins out the state of Georgia last year, and this is Georgia paying the Tide back. So I can't wait to hear from all of you. We talked about this on the final whistle on the Bama Standard a few weeks ago, prospects that I felt like were must-land guys in the Alabama class for 2024, and I gave you all 2 names. Julian Sayin on the offensive side of the ball, and we're going to talk about that in a later date, and Demarcus Riddick on the defensive side of the ball. And I truly do believe Demarcus Riddick is a must-land prospect because of the position he plays, because of the versatility he brings to the table, and because of the fact he's located in your state. And the last thing you want is to see him go play for the Georgia Bulldogs and Kirby Smart. Hop down to the comments. Let me know what you're thinking. That's it. See ya.